Hello everyone, this video covers Module 10. So Module 10 is our next essay module. This module will cover an essay assignment that is related to poetry. So we did a fiction analysis essay last time. Now we're going to do a comparison essay. So the comparison essay is asking you to compare two works of poetry. And I've got some resources in here for you. The textbook does cover a little bit about writing about literature, and there is an example for looking at just how a comparison works. And then there is some review pages in the textbook as well. Kind of toward the end, there's a review on like writing thesis statements and introduction, conclusions, topic sentences, that kind of thing. So that's all the way at the end of the book. May or may not help you. A lot of the information in the review section is just about writing essays in general as opposed to writing essays about literature. So it may not help you as much as some other resources. So just kind of keep that in mind. This reading and writing about literature section is really important, and there are 3 model essays in here, and I believe one of the 3 is because the first one was a fiction analysis. I believe that this one compares the 2 poems, and so you can kind of see how a comparison works by using an aspect of comparison. So your main purpose for this assignment is to take 2 poetry works that we've read and put them side by side so that we can see what are the similarities and differences between them. So the assignment asks you to take those 2 poems and then find one basis for comparison. The important thing is that you only use one basis for comparison. A lot of times students will take 2 poems and then they'll look at characters and they'll look at imagery and they'll look at metaphor or something. So that's 3 different basis for comparison. So you may want to just choose 2 poems that are thematically similar and then discuss the use of theme through those 3 things, if that's really what you want to talk about. The other strategy would be to, in your book, you have these sections on the different aspects of poetry that we've discussed. So voice, for example, and then choose 2 poems within you can't see them over here, but choose 2 poems that are in the voice chapter and then use voice as your basis for comparison, because you know that if they're in the chapter about that aspect, then obviously they're a good example of it. So imagery might even be a better one to think about. So and then some of these chapters have like writing suggestions within them, so maybe it will give you some ideas for what you might compare. So like looking at short poems, for example, or look at the use of imagery and the parent-child relationship between these 2. So that might give you some ideas or inspiration. Other students have chosen like 2 poems about the same topic or 2 poems by the same author. The main thing is you just want that one aspect of comparison. So what are you going to what's that main focus of your essay? What are you going to be comparing them on? So just like we've done before, and this is just similar to the last essay, it's fairly short. You're looking at 2 to 4 pages, 1 introduction, 1 conclusion, 3 points in the middle. You're using what's called point-by-point organization, which means that each body paragraph has to cover both poems. So you are not going to be talking about one poem and then talking about the other poem. You're doing them together. So each body paragraph covers both poems, and each one has like a main idea that you're going to cover. So paragraph number 1 is the use of sight imagery. Paragraph number 2 is the use of smells in imagery. And then paragraph number 3 is the use of tactile imagery. So things that like touch and how things feel. So you're covering the 3 different types of imagery, and you're using examples from both poems within each paragraph. So it's really important that you get those each one of those paragraphs can cover both poems. So it's not supposed to be a really long essay. And again, all you're doing is you're not doing any research or anything. So you're just putting those 2 poems on that works cited page. So similar to our last essay where you just covered that one story. Now you've got 2 poems, but they'll both go on the works cited page. Also similar to the last essay, you're doing some pre-writing and post-writing. Pre-writing would be adding in some type of free write, brainstorm, or outline or cluster map. This is, if you do that early, usually I'll be checking, once or twice throughout the week, and I can give you some feedback. If you post it and you want feedback right away, you can send me an email and then I'll just go in and look at it. But that gives me a chance and you a chance to make sure that your topic will work. The post writing obviously is completed after the essay is done, and then you submit that. You can submit them separately or you can submit them in the same post. It's up to you. But obviously submitting the pre-writing beforehand will actually help you out. And then more just reminders about documentation and format. Hopefully I'll have that fiction analysis essay graded by the time you turn this essay in. That means you won't, or you will be able to make sure your format's okay. You don't need to make any changes. But then the last thing that you'll do in the unit is actually submit the final draft of the essay. So just like we did for the previous one, there's no like peer edit. There's no requirement to send to the online writing lab, although it's recommended. But it's just, you're doing the pre-writing, you're writing the essay itself and submitting it, and you're doing the post-writing, and that is the process that we'll go through. So this will be your second essay, and I think this is your last major essay assignment, because the next big thing that we'll do is the research project, which does not necessarily involving as much writing. So if you have any questions, send me an email. And if you did watch this video all the way through, I do appreciate it. I spend quite a bit of time every week trying to make sure that my modules are updated so that I can do these videos, and it does take a while, so I really appreciate it when students actually sit down and watch them, and that I know that they're committed to their success in the class. So if you send me an email now that you've watched this video, I will add some extra credit to your module.